In this video, I'm going to explore UNG and affordance theories in relation to Skype. For Module 4, I listed the uses and gratification and affordance theory information on IRC and ICQ on the Google website, so you can go ahead and reference them for the affordances of those programs, so you can see how they also relate to the affordances of Skype. Starting out back on Skype, it's very easy to use Skype even if you're not accustomed to using it. So let's go ahead and start off with affordance theory. Very good indications here of what we can do for Skype. Now, if I want to add a contact, it says add contacts. If I want to create a group, it says create a group with one person for a contact and multiple people for a group. So that gives me a strong indication right there that if I wanted to add a contact or if I wanted to create a group, I would click on one of those two areas to do either of those functions. Up here, it shows the contacts that I've already recently added. And the one thing that is a little bit confusing is that if somebody's new to using computers completely or new to using Skype, they might not know exactly how to start a text conversation. Up here, you do have the call phones option, where if you click on it, it brings up the number to call, how much you're going to pay, or what the subscription charge is. So that's very easy to access making calls. But if you're not sure, if you've never used a computer or Skype before, you wouldn't really know to double click on this. So there is a slight issue there with the affordance of using Skype. But if you do know how to double click on somebody and bring them up, once again using my husband for example, the next window that opens up for the user does provide really nice affordances to tell people what to do. They can either start a video call, a regular call, or like I said before, hit this button to add participants, send files, and more. And then also to show messages between yourself and this person from yesterday, 7 days ago, 30 days, 3 months, 6 months, a year, or from the beginning of time when you started the conversation. There's also a smiley face emoticon down here, which would indicate that somebody can use the emoticon. And if you click SMS button, it tells you need to buy Skype credit to send text messages, but there is the initials of SMS, which most people would equate to sending text messages. And then there's also this little talking icon down here, or bubble, and then that would indicate to people that they can go ahead and send a message. And from previous programs, IRC and ICQ, a user would know that to type, they would type in this box or a similar box to enter text, and then hit enter or the send button, which, as I said, is over here. So let me go ahead and back out of here. If we wanted to close a conversation, of course the button to close is right here. And going back to the top, there's a Skype, which, as I said before, has everything to do with the program. Contacts, this would tell people where they can go ahead and find contacts or edit their contact information. The call functions, the view functions, tools, and the help. So Skype provides very nice affordances to users, with the exception of not knowing how to start a conversation with somebody if nobody had used the program before. But other than that, there's very nice indicators, buttons, and tools that help people along in regards to what they need to do in order to access certain functions of the program. By using words like call and call phones, and add contact, create group, video call, call, a plus for additional options, since a plus would signify adding, and other indicators, people can easily figure out that Skype can be used for texting, video conferencing, making calls, and connecting with people. Previous to using Skype, users who wanted synchronous chat or texting options were using platforms such as Yahoo Messenger, AOL Messenger, ICQ, and IRC. So previous to using Skype, people were using similar programs, and what eventually happened is that Skype turned into the program that offered the most functionality, where people could send text messages, chat in real time, peer-to-peer file share, conferencing, making video calls, and other options that, if you look back at programs such as IRC and ICQ, those two programs had functionalities that were integrated into Skype when Skype was created. So therefore, it's easy to see how a lot of the features and functionalities got brought over from programs such as IRC and ICQ. Moving on to uses and gratifications theory regarding Skype, as most of us know by now, uses and gratification theory revolves around how people actively seek out specific media to satisfy their own specific needs. I am on Wikipedia's page for uses and gratification theory now because this provides a really great insight into the theory. And uses and gratifications theory focuses on what people do with media. So relating it specifically to Skype, people share media. They can seek out their friends, family, or even complete strangers who might have access to media that they need. In work situations, since files can be shared, if somebody's working on a project at work and they're working from home that day, or they're telecommuting and they don't live close to their office and they need something, whether it be a PDF, whether it be a piece of code, they can easily log into Skype, connect with somebody who they know has that information, and they're able to easily access it and get it to their computer so they can do what they need to with it without too much hassle. One great thing I found for my Module 4 project on Wikibook contributors is the statement that people can use the same communication message for different purposes. Individual needs and gratifications can be met on IRC and ICQ depending on what the user's purpose is. Now that last part I brought in about IRC and ICQ, but the same can be said for Skype, that people can use it differently depending on what their needs are and how their gratifications need to be met. If somebody's using it for work, they can easily do that by file sharing, chatting with their coworkers, their bosses, or video conferencing. If people want to access personal media, say for example, somebody has an ebook or they want an ebook and they know that their friend has it, they can just log on to Skype and have them send them the file. They can also chat with people to acquire links online, and people can share links between each other via chat on Skype, so that they can access media, where they have similar interests between each other. There's a whole realm of possibilities for how uses and gratification theory ties in to using Skype. A lot of people use it because it's efficient, it's quick, not so much in the old days, but these days it's pretty much stable, it barely goes down at all, and they can also access the media whichever way they want to. The great thing about Skype is that people can use it to make phone calls, they can use it to send text messages, they can use it to chat in real time, they can use it to video conference either with a group or another person, they can use it to even share their computer screen, they can use it to send text messages. So this really ties in with uses and gratification theory in the sense where the user has the ability to access media in a multitude of ways depending on what the media is, how quickly they want to get it, and what their preference is for acquiring media. So now that we're done with uses and gratification and affordance theory, it's time to touch base on the social impacts of Skype and also compare it to the social impacts that IRC and ICQ had.